more Lego games by TT Games. What's going on, everybody? My name is Blitzwinger. Ladies and gents, welcome on back to a brand new Lego game news video. Today we've got a pretty major story, one that has gained a lot of traction. Like, I've seen huge Twitter accounts even talk about it, about the fact that Lego will no longer be allowing TT Games to make Lego games, and whether or not that is actually true. Now, before we get to the game news themselves, of course, guys, don't forget, if you guys do enjoy today's video, please smash that thumbs up button. That would be very much appreciated. Thank you guys so very much for your kindness and your support. And, of course, also consider sharing the video with a fellow Lego games fan. Without further ado, let's dive on in. So, there I was, kind of just, doing my typical thing, minding my own business, scrolling through Twitter, and then, wha-bam! I see this headline: Lego parts ways with TT Games. And pretty much a mix of that same message over and over again, being reported by even huge Twitter accounts like Crave Culture, who essentially just say, hey, Lego will no longer be working with external studios to make Lego games, and everything is going to be made in-house. And my first thought was, what's going on, bro? TT Games makes the best Lego games. That would be terrible. But before we light our Lego sets on fire and stage a protest, let's break down what actually is going on. Now, I did what any other sane person would do, which is turn into my detective mode, where I went ahead and started investigating. Now, I went to the original source. I found the original source that started all of this news, and that was an article on the Gamer website, where essentially they're pretty much saying exactly that. They're saying that Lego and TT Games are going to go their separate ways. And I was like, okay, interesting. Where did they obtain this information? Now, as I kept reading the article, it seemed like they made reference to an interview that the Financial Times had conducted with CEO Niels Christensen of the Lego Group. So then, luckily, I do have a subscription to the Financial Times, so I went over to the Financial Times, typed in Lego Group, found the article that they were referring to, and read that article. And honestly, I went ahead and read all of it, and I was like, I don't really understand how exactly the Gamer and all of these other publications came to the conclusion that they came to, because, you know what? Let me just go ahead and literally quote the major quote that they are referencing when it comes to this news story for Lego games, or their future. We can definitely say, as long as we're under the Lego brand, we can cover experiences for kids of all ages, digital or physical. Games development in-house is something that we're currently building up. Now, that's it. That's all of it. That's the big bombshell that people went ahead and heard and said, oh, well, what this means is that Lego is not going to be making Lego games with anyone else going forward. All Lego games in the future will be made in-house. Which, I was like, where did they say that? Where did they say that? I mean, does it mean that Lego wants to make their own games? Yes. Does it mean that we're probably going to have games that are made by Lego themselves in the future? Yes. Does it mean that Lego doesn't want to work with TT Games or other companies externally to make Lego games? No. Nowhere does it actually say that. Lego invested hundreds of millions of dollars into Epic Games to help them build Lego Fortnite. In fact, in that same Financial Times article, they reference how huge of a success Lego Fortnite was, with 87 million players having played that game mode. I mean, are you kidding me? With those stats, the article in the Financial Times even references, furthermore, it says that a lot of their external collaborations have been successful, implying the TT Games collaborations have been successful. So to me, I'm like, hold on. I don't get it. Why do you think that Lego would be like, oh, we have this thing right here that's working, that's making money, that's successful. Let's go ahead and shut it all down and bring it in-house. That makes no sense to me. I don't understand how anyone reading that article interpreted that as no more Lego games being made by TT Games. Now, what I will say is that it does mean that we're probably going to have a future where TT Games really is only going to be focused on Warner Brothers IP, which is a rumor that we've had for a very long time now, that is going to be the future for TT Games, is that they are going to be making Lego games, but they will be based on Warner Brothers IP, which means things like Scooby-Doo or Batman, or DC Comics as a whole, or Game of Thrones maybe, or the rumored Harry Potter game. So it definitely does seem to point to the fact that they will focus on those properties as LEGO games, but in the meantime, it leaves the LEGO Group to make anything and everything else. I mean, that means that a game like a brand new LEGO Marvel superhero game can now actually be made by the LEGO Group themselves. That's awesome. A new Star Wars game could be made by them. A brand new sequel to, let's say, LEGO City Undercover could be made by the LEGO Group themselves. So I know that a lot of people interpreted this news story as a negative thing and went ahead and said, oh, well, this means that LEGO is going to bring everything in-house and they will not work with TT Games, and we're not going to get any more LEGO games made by TT Games going forward. I don't think that's what this means. I actually think this is a really good news story for all of us who are fans of LEGO games, because it means that there is more resources being put into this genre of game. It means that a lot of the original LEGO IP, like Monkey Kid or Ninjago or LEGO City, could receive standalone, full-fledged games that are made by the LEGO Group themselves. This is actually a good thing, not a bad thing as it's been perceived. But wait, there's even more positive news when it comes to TT Games continuing to make LEGO games, because just recently, Forbes' own Jason Schreier appeared on the Kinda Funny podcast where he said this.
I'd love to get super chats involved.
Yes.
Over here, CJ Splits on, no, it's already gone. I can't see it. Oh, there it is. Bander SN, I'm sorry, said anything about TT Games. We didn't cover that.
Yes.
Jason, what's going on with TT Games? Obviously, I know Arthur Parsons and a whole bunch of them left. They went and made that Funko game that was not great, and I don't hear anything about the LEGO franchise anymore from them.
Yeah, they actually are one of the few studios in the umbrella that has a game coming in the near future. They do have a LEGO game coming.
Oh.
I believe it's for next year. I could be misremembering. It's either later this year or next year. I think next year. But yeah, there is a new LEGO game coming. I won't blow up their spot and say what it is. But yes, there's a new LEGO game coming imminently.
Yes, indeed, there's a LEGO game that is far in development and set to release sometime at the end of either this year or early next year. And we can even clearly tell that Jason Schreier even knows what exactly that game is. He just doesn't want to spoil the announcement ahead of the official announcement being made by TT Games and Warner Brothers themselves. So don't panic. Keep your bricks in line. We're all good. We actually have a pretty freaking exciting future ahead of us if you're a fan of LEGO games. We've got the games that TT Games are building. We've got the huge collaboration projects that are happening, like the LEGO Fortnite and all the updates that continues to get. And then, of course, we now get to look forward to the LEGO Group themselves developing games in-house also. I don't understand why people think that the LEGO Group would look around and say, hey, look, we're making money and we're making all of these strides outside of the actual LEGO Group as well. Let's go ahead and sever all of those streams of extra revenue and instead just dwindle everything down into the company itself. And another thing that I noticed in the Financial Times article is that there's a reference to the idea that the LEGO Group going forward is trying to become more like Disney and not like really competing with the other toy manufacturers. And if that's true, what has Disney been doing? They continue to have external relationships. They have Insomniac Games at Sony making the Spider-Man and Wolverine games. Then they went over to Microsoft and made a deal with them for Blade, and that's being developed over there. It's just good business. I do not see the LEGO Group anytime soon severing that relationship, especially with how good of a track record, both financially and to a certain extent critically, the LEGO titles have. So there you have it, guys. Don't freak out. We're all good, at least for the time being. There's nothing that says that the LEGO Group is not going to be working with TT Games going forward. So all of us huge fans of the TT Games LEGO titles are all good. We have a new LEGO game to look forward to either at the end of this year or early next year, as was confirmed by Jason Schreier from Forbes. So things are looking good. Don't freak out. Don't panic. And of course, like I always say, I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day. I'll hopefully catch each and every single one of you lovely folks here on the next one. Peace out. I'll see y'all later, alligators.